Victoria Komu, aka Photo Femme. There are those that call it Femme, whichever. I like to call myself a visual storyteller, but I am a documentary photographer. I also do portraits and lifestyle and food photography. Backstory is, of course, I remember at some point I wanted to be a pilot. Then, unajua zile za neurosurgeon nini, then they don't work out. But yeah, I remember myself as a creative from back in the day because when I was graduating from nursery to now class 1, I was awarded, I was given an award for being, sijui nilikuwa nafanya nini, it was definitely not sleeping, but I know I was doing something creative. But I remember myself as a creative all through. So when I was in high school, I did music. I took music as a subject for the whole 4 years. I love music. I thought I wanted to be a music producer. But at the same time, I knew I wanted to be a music producer. And because I had interest in film and photography, I had decided I'm gonna go to school, learn how to be a videographer, and now be a music producer and also a videographer. So when you come to me with Jobo, I'm telling you, I can do this for you and I can do this for you, so you're sorted. But even how I landed myself into photography is, I remember as a young girl, my folks would give me their iPad to take photos in church. And I remember every Sunday nilikuwa tu hapo mbele na iPad kwa maisha za watu. So we'd go back home and now start reviewing like, oh, this is how the service was. And that's what I remember. Fast forward to after high school, and I was very sure I wanted to do photography. I couldn't think of anything else. Okay, I could think of. It was either photography or go learn how to be a chef because I love cooking, or pursue my dream in music. But then somehow photography topped it all up. So I was sent to Nairobi to look for a uni that I wanna school. So nilikuja Nairobi kutafuta photography. Nikazunguka uni kadhaa nikakosa. So I ended up doing film production and animation. So that is the degree I hold. But even after all that, I was still like, I know it's okay, I want to be a filmmaker, but at the same time, I want my main to be photography because what I love is telling stories through photos. I want you to look at a photo and get something from it. Like, you can just interpret it as you wish. But from how I even look at my photos, every photo I take, you can already like interpret what was happening. And I think that is the power I hold in my art. So after I was sent to come look for a uni in Nairobi, I went to KU. Nikazunguka, that place was, I chapped a lap, and I was like, I'm not gonna, hakuna vile nitakuwa napanda basi kutoka one class to another. I had friends in multimedia. I went, checked it out. I was like, okay, I think I want to do this. So I did my bachelor's degree in film production and animation at Multimedia University. To be very honest, I can't really say what it is. Like, I don't know where the interest came from. I think the interest was just what I loved so much, and what I still love doing so much is taking photos that I will look back at and be like, oh my God, this was such a beautiful moment. So basically freezing moments. And I love photography for that. I love photography, and even I as an individual, apart from my career, I take so many photos. Like, I wanna look back at this day and be like, oh yeah, I was doing an interview at Cameras Africa, and what reminds me that is the photo that I take here. Yeah. And also, I think that's how my mind works. My mind works in a way that I will not remember everything instantly, But when I look at a photo, I will remember everything that was happening then. So I'd say my desire to just freeze moments, look back at them many months and years or even days later, and just be like, that was a moment. So got into campus, and of course I'm going to do film. There's no photography involved. What I used to do was I used to shadow photographers. By shadow photographers, I mean there's a particular guy called Sizzlopic. Nilikuwa mtu wake wa lights. Unacheki hizi vitu zinaitwaje? Like strobe lights and everything. Nilikuwa hapo namshikia. And that's how I learned. Like I was so determined to learn in that I was just like, please take me to every shoot. Nitaangalia tu kenye unafanya, I will learn. So by so doing, I learned how to rapport with people, how to approach clients, how to even like help someone be comfortable during a shoot and such kind of things. So I wasn't able to practice my photography while in campus, but right after campus, the same day I finished campus, I acquired my camera. And yeah, I was ready. I was ready to go out here and, start making money. I mean, nimetoka kufanya degree, so sasa ni wakati wa go get the paper. My first client must have been a friend of mine who was graduating that December because, it was a December. And I was like, I have a camera, I can come shoot. And they were like, yeah, you come. And let me tell you, I look back at those photos right now, I'm like, nazikuwa mbaya. I mean, for a beginner, nazikuwa mbaya. But now during COVID, that's when everything changed for me in terms of I got my own voice. I started realizing myself and just gaining confidence in myself. I used to take portraits of my family members, as I mentioned, I love cooking, so like bake stuff, take photos, and now I started posting. And that is how Femme as a brand or as a name has grown. I remember I created my page in 2020 February 14th. Yes. What motivated me to do that? I was just like, I know I want to be a photographer and I need a platform. So I created it, and I remember I didn't start posting. My first post was not even my work. I took someone else's work and I posted there, and I was like, hi guys, so I'm gonna be sharing with you my crafts. But of course I credited the person because I loved their work. I believe that my parents are one of the greatest gifts I have in terms of these guys have been my support. Like unachikile watu wangu kabisa, those have been my guys kabisa, because when I said what I wanted, no one even dared argue with me. They were like, it's okay, we're gonna support you. That's why they sent me to Nairobi. I'm from Embu. That's why they sent me to Nairobi you said you want to do photography, go look for it. We will just come back to us with feedback. And to be very honest, I think I have exceptional parents. I have exceptional parents because they have believed in me. They have held my hand throughout. When things are rough, when I'm getting major wins, they have been there throughout the journey. And I think that's what keeps me going, because the minute your people have your back, nobody can tell you nothing. So my parents have always been there. They've always supported me in all my decisions, or in most of my decisions. And even at times when I'm short of money to buy gear, I'm always like, okay, so I have 2 bob, siniongeze 1 bob, ili ni manage kupata this and this. One of the lessons that I learned is, when you now start being a photographer, you start looking up to people and they're doing a particular genre of photography. What I learned is try out, immerse yourself in the different genres there are, in the different styles there are of photography. In so doing, you get to build on your skills, you get to interact with people in different fields, and you also get to enjoy the journey of photography. So that is one. Do not rush into specializing. Do everything. Fanya sports, fanya chakula, enda kwa streets, pige watu picha, enda kwa events, piga picha, bure tu. The other lessons I've learned, and one, I'm a staunch believer in do it. Just do it. There's a reason as to why God put that thought in your mind. There's a reason as to why you're sitting down and you're like, I think I want to go to Kibera tomorrow and take some portraits of some mamas or some kids. There's a reason as to why God has put that idea in your head. So if you want to go for it, if you have that idea in your head, go do it. The other thing is find your voice. Find your voice in terms of find your style, find what it is that makes you happy. Mimi, honestly, telling story, for as long as I have a platform to tell a story through my art, I am happiest. Also, networking is very key. Networking, talk to people, go interact with people for mixers. Talk to people about what you plan to do, where you're stuck. Yani, ongea. When you talk, you get to meet people. You also get to exchange ideas with other people who are maybe better than you and who've been doing this for a while. So networking. Also practice makes perfect. So shoot. Amka, shoot. Enda uedit. Like that is how you grow. The minute you do things continuously, you become better at them. And the other thing I know and I've learned over time for sure is support whoever it is that you're able to support. If you find some of the people I know in the industry, it has just come from niaje manze nimesahau SD card kwa nyumba, nisaidie SD card kama uko na extra. Niaje nisaidie lens. Like can you switch lenses in the middle of a shoot? So if you're able to support someone, please do. If you're able to, as a woman, I have taken up the responsibility to support any woman photographer that I meet. If you're in need of help that I can give, I'm willing to do it. So kusapotiana pia, honestly, no man is an island, so you need each other. Talk to people. In case you have questions, call fellow photographers, fellow creatives and ask them, how do I go about this? I mean, I have met people who are like, ungepiga hiyo picha ikikaa hivi. And someone, like, hiyo ni kwa comment section. Most times, like, you wanna talk back and be like, endo upige wewe mwenyewe. But also as a professional, you need to behave like a professional. So most times I'm usually like, okay, thank you. I'm gonna consider that next time. Or great. But criticism it's honestly how you want to look at it. I mostly take criticism positively because however much someone has told me that could be in good faith or in bad faith, the next time I go out shooting, I'm gonna consider that. I'm gonna be like, what if I take it from this other angle instead? Before I go out to shoot anything, I usually place everything kwa mikono ya God, and I ask him to show off with me. I somehow always ask God to show off with me. And so, mostly for my documentary stories, what happens is I go out, let me give an example of the protests. By the time I leave the house, I will not know, I don't have an idea of what I'm coming to shoot. I don't know how it is looking in the streets. But when I come, to the streets, I survey the situation and I see, okay, so what is happening today? There's a particular day of the Mandamanos, the second day of the Mandamanos. What I experienced was a lot of generosity from Kenyans. And many people want to show all the chaos happening, but I was like, I want to show the generosity, the unity, the oneness in Kenyans in terms of ulikuwa unapita place unapata watu tu wanakupea maji, umepigwa na tear gas, pewa maji. Kuna place nilienda, I was so tear gassed, someone just took out a bottle and started spraying it on my face. Like, looking at what side of the story do I want to tell. There's so many things. When you come out, there's so many things that you can tell. You can tell the perspective ya Karao, unaweza onyesha na perspective ya citizens, na pia unaweza onyesha na perspective ya well-wishers, like people who are not able to join you in the streets, but then they're still doing the little they can in their capacity. Other than that, when doing personal projects, I create mood boards. I create mood boards mostly on Pinterest, and now start working towards that. If I'm looking for collaborators, I look for collaborators, maybe models, set designers, a videographer, whoever it is that I'm looking for. I look for them and now sell them my story. And we now start building onto it. So that means location scouting, checking what it is that we need to purchase, what it is that we have and what we don't have and can hire, and such things like that. Then when we go to on the actual shoot day, having everyone know the idea we are all going by, we are able to execute it more flawlessly. So the minute everyone on board, like everyone who's on board has an idea of what you're going for, it's always super smooth to now shoot. The editing process is equally as easy because I already know what it is I'm trying to go for, the feel and the style I want to go for. Do I get creative blocks? Yes, I do. Have I ever felt like I want to give up on the one thing I love? I have never. This is the one thing, if you wake me up in the middle of the night, nitakwambia kila kitu. You know, this is the one thing I love with all my heart. This is the one thing that I know how to do. Not as perfectly, but it's the one thing I'm willing to learn over and over and over again. I mostly get my clients from word of mouth, referrals, also my social media platform. So it's mostly repeat clients, word of mouth, and social media. Cameras Africa is the one place that I bought most of my accessories, my camera accessories. I remember the minute I bought my first camera, I would come here and be like, na lens ni ngapi? So I don't even know much about lenses, but then by coming here and just talking to the guys, the staff here, I get more knowledge. Like, okay, these are 35, it's a 1.8. This is the difference between these and a 3.5, what you actually have. And it has also exposed me to very many different layers. So that is how Cameras Africa has come through for me, and also like the fact that once in a while you can always negotiate kidogo. Like, they're not very strict on the prices, but yes, I love that they have a wide variety of the tools that I need as a filmmaker and as a photographer. My one advice or tip is never compare yourself to anyone else. You are you. There's no one else who has your fingerprints. There's no one else who thinks like you do. So don't compare yourself to anyone. Everyone's journey is different. Mine might take 10 years, yours might take 3 years, but the end goal is what matters. So do it to the level best. And you have all the power that it takes to be an exemplary person. My favorite kit is my camera. I use a Nikon D750 and my 35mm, and also my V1 speed light. those are my go-to babies. So in my line of work, amongst the challenges I have faced is, one, I knew for sure I was getting into a very male-dominated career and field, and that has not been easy to even maneuver. As a woman, people underrate what it is that you're able to your capability, up until you show them your work and they're like, you did this. And that has always been a challenge in terms of people do not believe in you. But then, hiyo si shida yako. That is, hiyo si shida yao. It is yours to, it is now up to you to work on that. When I was starting out, there weren't as many women that I knew of as photographers. So there was that. I'm always going to gigs and I'm the only babe. I'm always going to places and people are like, umebeba camera pia, kweli unajua kuitumia? Apart from that, I honestly feel like there's a lot of sexual harassment that comes with being a female creative, mostly in a male-dominated space. And I mean, sexual advances zinakuwa mob sana, and at times you lose opportunities because you don't give in to what other people want. The other challenge has been, there's always some sort of a pay gap, in that I and a guy at times, please, I'm just talking about my experience. There are times that I will do the same job as a guy and I will be paid less just because I'm a woman. Yes, and please note, I'm talking of my experiences. I'm not talking on behalf of anyone else. I'm just talking about me as Victoria. Shooting the inauguration was like one of my biggest wins. The second one, okay, I will give two more. Second one is a project that I did in Kibera. That's hands down like one. It's a beautiful baby that I like to carry everywhere I go. And that would be shooting the protests. Basically because it showed me how much resilience I have in me. I didn't know I had all that. But those are my three: the inauguration, the Kibera project that I did for Women's Day, and the Reject Finance Bill protests. I'd love to work with NGOs that mostly focus on women issues. I particularly want to do stories in regards to FGM, fistula, those early marriage stories. Yes, I'd really want to work with NGOs and refugee camps, basically because I feel like that's where my art will be. It will be easy for me to address myself and also tell the stories that need to be told. Yes. You can find me on my social media platforms. My Instagram handle is Femme. Photo, PHOTO, _FEMME. You can also reach me on my WhatsApp or on call. That is on 0739 801 275. You can also reach me on Facebook and LinkedIn as Victoria Komu. Komu is Komu. Through my photography, I aim to create impact, tell stories, and basically inform and educate whoever it is that comes across my work. Cameras Africa, equipping storytellers.